Our guest today is Miss Crystel Hilton. Crystel is from a small village in Dominica called Bioche. She is the CEO of Crystel Hilton Designs, and her most recent collection, Milk and Honey, was launched in New York at the Le Chauffeur Styles The Runway 2018. So she's a jewelry and accessory designer, and she has been featured both locally in Dominica, regionally, and internationally, including Anguilla Fashion Expo, Montreal Caribbean Fashion Week in Quebec, Canada, and Le Chauffeur Styles the Runway in New York. Hi, Crystel. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, so nice to be here.
Yes, yes. So it's interesting how people get together because I actually saw one of your promotional videos on YouTube and I was very interested in the work that you do. So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
So I am a jewelry and accessory designer. I do a lot of bold, exotic pieces. Most of my pieces are handmade. I start from scratch. So I'm a person that takes my concept and bring it out to the final product. So I'm not only a jewelry and accessory designer, I'm also an artisan as well.
Good, good. And when did you begin your company? When did all this begin for you? And what was your inspiration?
I started 5 years ago. So I was the person who was taking custom jewelry and twisting it around to suit me. One of the reasons why I usually do that, it's because I'm a very artistic person. I do a lot of painting as well. So I wanted to really show my creations to the world. So I decided to do a pre-launching of my products in 2015.
Okay, and how did you start getting exposure for your work?
I would have to say my social platforms. So I used a lot of popular people around, models, to showcase my products on social media. So that's how I started getting attention.
Now, speaking about your products, you have some very unique creations because in addition to doing handbag and accessories, one of the things you try to incorporate in your work is sustainable products. So I saw where you were using like the nut of a mango to make earrings. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So that's actually what I have on right now.
Oh, okay.
As you can see. Yes. So I wanted right now a lot of when you watch a lot of designers and the fashion world on a whole, they are moving into something called sustainable development. And what I was trying to do was to solve a problem. So one of my problem is having a lot of waste. And I live on an island with a lot of mangoes, and I have a lot of mangoes in my yard actually. So I was like, how can I, get rid of all the waste, when I eat them and so on. So I thought, okay, I'm a jewelry and accessory designer. I can make something unique out of these mango seeds. And that's what I did.
Now, what has been the reaction to that venture?
I actually just started doing it, and I showed it. It has only been seen by my family, and right now they really love it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now, another thing I saw that you did that really caught my attention was the resurfacing of shoes. So it seems like you are such a creative person. So kudos to you on that. So tell us a little bit more about that whole process of resurfacing shoes.
So I can transform any shoe with any fabric that I have. So I take the shoe, I use fabric to resurface it, and I also use a lot of different gems to bring it up to that modern standard. Right. So whether it's a madras cloth or an African print or any type of fabric, I can transform your shoes.
Now, are you speaking of both men, women's shoes, children's shoes, any shoes?
Well, Right now, I am doing a lot of women's shoes.
Understandably.
Yes. I have been, although I have been asked about doing men's shoes, but I haven't really attempted it as yet.
Okay, well, you certainly should, because I think it is something that is going to grow in popularity. Now, walk me through that process. So how would it work? I would contact you, bring the shoes to you, and then tell me how long of a process it is on your end.
It only takes me a day to resurface a shoe.
Mm-hmm.
It only takes me one working day.
Okay, good.
So usually my clients would contact me,
mm-hmm.
and then we would meet up at some point, and then they would bring me their shoe that they want to get done. And then it would take me one full working day to get it completed.
That is an incredible turnaround. And is that something that is really popular right now?
Yes, especially during Emancipation Day celebrations and also Independence celebration.
Good. And how long have you been resurfacing the shoes?
I started doing it about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. And it just came to you? Did you see it be done somewhere else, or it's just something that just came to you?
I actually saw it on some YouTube video that I watched. Mm-hmm. I usually watch a lot of different YouTube videos about different African designers and things that they do to get some inspiration. And I thought, hey, I could do that as well. And I just went ahead and did it.
Oh, good for you, good for you. Now, as we're talking about what you currently do, I recently read on Facebook that at one point you got accepted into medical school, but you decided to pursue your fashion career instead. Tell me, what was the thought process behind that?
You know, it's very hard and difficult to make certain decisions. All my life, I have been inspired by Ben Carson as a neurosurgeon, and I wanted to become a neurosurgeon. I got accepted into medical school, yes, but then I did not go through with it. And it's not just on one occasion, on several occasions. And I really thought about it and decided to follow my passion about when I just started working, my first actual job. And it was very, very difficult.
I imagine.
Because, I mean, not everybody will understand you, and especially your parents, knowing that.
Thinking the same thing.
Yes. You've talked about medical school, and now you're saying you want to do fashion.
Right. So what was that like? Was that a long, drawn-out conversation of them trying to convince you to go to medical school instead?
You know, at the end of it, my dad said that, you know, you follow your heart and what makes you happy.
Right. So that was a few years ago. So was your dad right that you should have followed your heart?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it seems like you're getting quite a bit of exposure. So congratulations on that. Now, I just mentioned some of the places that you've been internationally. Can you tell us which of these were the biggest stage, the biggest event that you got to show your products at?
The biggest event, I would say, was Looking for Styles the Runway in New York.
And how did that opportunity come about?
I was contacted by the owner, actually, that's Wendy Isaac. We met in Montreal when I did Montreal Caribbean Fashion Week.
Right.
They saw some of my products on social media, actually, and then they sent me an email asking me to come up to Montreal to show my line. And when we met, she saw some of my designs and she actually bought a piece from me as well.
Wow, that is incredible. And, you know, I think a lot of times, you know, older folks like me, we downplay the whole social media, the importance of social media. But like I've mentioned in this program before, it only takes one person seeing your work to get the ball rolling, get the momentum going. So has coronavirus, has that slowed you down or impeded you in any way?
It definitely has, because I can't go to any fashion shows, no pop-up shops. And my business was actually closed for the time because, you know, a lot of people wasn't really thinking about going out and, you know, getting pieces. Right. So that took a toll on me.
So how are you staying busy during this shutdown? What are you doing to occupy yourself to stay positive and motivated?
I'm trying to improve my techniques and come up with a new concept, new ideas. I've also been doing a lot of face masks as well. You know, that has been in high demand from a lot of people. So we made a lot actually.
Right.
And just trying to, you know, brainstorm and think about the future instead of just thinking about this moment right here.
Yeah, because that's what I say to a lot of people. You know, the world might be on shutdown, but your brain is not. You know, so
Exactly.
this is a great time to revisualize what you want out of what you're doing. Now, speaking about what you're doing, do you have a private studio? Where are you doing all this work?
I am home based, so I don't have like this large space. I have this small room where I do a lot of my creations.
Right, good. Now, if I had a magic wand and I were to wave it over you and say, now you're successful, what would that look like for you?
Wow, that's a really good question. What would that look like?
What would success look like
My
for you?
brand would be all over the world. I would have my own manufacturing company. I would have a large studio, you know, some of the best models, and I would even have my own fashion show.
Right. Well, you're certainly on the way. So I want you to stay positive and stay focused because it sounds like you have quite a drive and quite a determination for what you're doing. So how can we see your products? Well, first of all, before we talk about seeing your products, where are your products available for sale?
So right now, a lot of people contact me through social media, but I'm not sure if I should reveal that as yet. My products is going to be available in town at a boutique pretty soon.
Good.
I'm not sure if I can reveal that as yet. So I have to have a little conversation with the owner first because she wants to have a launch-in.
Okay, that's fine. Don't mention the name.
But I'm really excited about it because it's going to be in the heart of the town.
Mhm.
And right now, a lot of people contact me for social media. I'm on all platforms.
Now, what if I wanted to order something? I'm in Georgia in the US. What if I wanted to order something from you? How would that work?
A lot of people who got my products who are based internationally either did it for PayPal, contacted me directly and did it for PayPal. And that is another challenge in itself because I live in a small island and shipping is very costly. So that is a setback for me as a designer.
I can certainly see how that would be a challenge. But you know, you've come so far and you've figured so many things out already. I'm sure if you set your mind to it, that is something else you will be able to figure out as well. Now to the question of how can we get in touch with you, your social media platforms? How can we see the work that you do?
Yes, so if you Google CrystelHilton, Crystel Hilton, you are going to see all my platforms, one after the other. You're going to see my Facebook at Crystel Hilton, my Facebook page. You're going to see my Instagram portfolio page. You're going to see my YouTube channel, Crystel Hilton Fashion World and Crystel Hilton, where I do a lot of how to or do-it-yourself videos. You're also going to see my Twitter account as well. And soon, on the 22nd of August, I am going to be launching my website, crystelhilton.com.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. So it seems like you're stretching far and wide, trying to get the word out of your products. Now, what would you say right now is your biggest obstacle to what you're trying to accomplish? What is the biggest thing do you think is holding you back right now?
To be honest, in as much as I love my country and I love, you know, my beautiful island and I get so many inspiration from it, the scenic views and everything, that in itself is a limitation, you know. We don't have a lot of things at our exposure. And even as I mentioned, online shopping, having your platforms online so people can get internationally. That is a big issue, and that is one of my setbacks. Equipment, being able to go to any stores to get what you need. Most of the things that I have to get outside of my country. So that is a big issue, a big issue.
Okay, good. And if you're just joining us, we're speaking to Crystel Hilton out of Dominica. She's a fashion and accessory designer, and she's doing some incredible work in terms of using sustainable products and in terms of just coming up with some creative ideas of things she can use around her to create sustainable designs. So here's a question for you, Crystel. What would you say to someone, you look pretty young, so I'm guessing you're relatively young, who wants to take a leap of faith and go into the artistic direction while giving up something as concrete as going to medical school? What advice would you give to them if they're struggling with that decision right now?
I would tell them to follow their heart, but also have a plan.
Right.
Follow your heart, but also have a plan.
Absolutely. So don't just set it to the side and say, I'm going to choose the safe route, but keep it in mind that that is what your true calling is.
Exactly.
Right. So it has certainly been wonderful speaking with you. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to share one of your videos on my website, pushpast10.com, to get you some more exposure. And I am very big on trying to have people connect, because I always think that we are stronger together, that your energy and my energy put together can accomplish incredible things. So I will make sure that I try to get you some exposure so that we can move your product forward.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so it has been wonderful speaking with you. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners today?
I just want to tell everybody to, follow me as a young designer and my journey. I have big aspirations, and I know that one day Crystel Hilton will be known all over the world.
Absolutely. I believe you. I believe you. So again, thank you for joining us, and I look forward to staying connected with you.
Likewise.
Okay, have a wonderful evening.
You as well. So happy to be here.
Take care.